What's going on, everybody? Mike Tipton hanging out with you here on a Wednesday evening. I've got the Yankees taking on the Dodgers on the screen over here to my left as I just watched Austin Wells get drilled. If you have not been paying attention to this game in particular, then let me get you caught up here. The Yankees get out to an early 5-0 lead. Looks like they've got all the momentum going their way, and then the wheels just fall off in the top of the fifth inning. Garrett Cole had a no-hitter for the Yankees going into the fifth inning and then gives up 5 runs. Did a lot to get through Shohei Ohtani, to get through Mookie Betts, to make sure, that he didn't give up runs, at least a lot of runs, and then the wheels just fall off. Freddie Freeman comes up with the bases loaded, and then just like that, with Teoscar Hernandez following him, you get yourself a 5-5 game as the Yankees are currently in New York tied with the Dodgers. 2 outs right now for the Yankees as Alex Verdugo is up to bat. 5-5 the score. Again, though, it has been just a nightmare scenario if you are a New York Yankees fan watching what's going on with this team in particular, mainly because they had a 5-point lead. They were winning in this series. They had everything that they needed to do working in their favor for them. And yet somehow, some way, here they are, tied 5-5. The New York Yankees absolutely crapping the bed. As we're new here on Roku, I don't know what I can and cannot say, so I'm going to be as family friendly as I possibly can. Once again, the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, brand new episode here as we are partnered with National Streaming Sports. We are on Roku, we are on YouTube, Facebook, all over the place, and right now I am absolutely going wild as I am watching the New York Yankees choke away a 5-run lead in the 5th inning in Game 5 of the World Series. Just like that, the Yankees' 5-run lead evaporates, and now the Dodgers have themselves they're in this game. They were dead to rights in the 5th inning. The commentators were talking about how badly the Dodgers were struggling. With as bad as the Yankees had struggled in the first 3 games, the Dodgers had been equally as bad in Game 4 going into halfway through now Game 5, and then boom, in the 5th inning, just explode, and get themselves back into this game. A walk now to Verdugo. The bases are loaded. That's going to bring up Gleyber Torres for the New York Yankees. Again, it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this plays out. I have, as a Yankees fan, I am just dumbfounded right now. This team, like you had Garrett Cole. That's the guy that you wanted to pitch this game. I'm getting messages from my friends here, Pat Costello, James Steele. They're letting me know that the Dodgers just immediately getting back into this game is hilarious. And quite frankly, it is hilarious. That shows you the difference between the Yankees and the Dodgers. I said it last week on this show as our introduction into Roku that the Dodgers were the better team. I didn't think it was going to be this way. I didn't think it was going to be this one-sided. I thought maybe we go 6 games, maybe we go 7 games. Maybe something breaks the Yankees' way. Maybe something can happen where they win. Being down 3-1 right now in Game 5 seems insurmountable to the Yankees. Watching them go up 5-0, you just felt like it wasn't going to last because of what this Dodgers lineup brings to the table. As Gleyber Torres swings and misses here, down now 1 ball, 2 strikes in the batter's box right now. It is unconscionable to think about what the Yankees have done in this series. The fact that their bats hadn't woken up until Game 4, and somehow, some way, the margin of victory in all of those games was just a couple of runs. Torres flying out to Mookie Betts. The Dodgers get out of the bases loaded jam against the Dodgers right now. I see my dude Hawk Scott is watching right now. He is a huge Dodgers fan. Hawk, thank you for the love, my guy. You know I ain't got nothing but love for you. But right now we are mortal enemies because of what your team is doing to my team. I thought it would be fun. And it's kind of been fun, but not as fun as what I really thought it would be. We haven't seen those breakout games, right? Like Aaron Judge getting a home run today. Awesome. Great. And with as bad as Aaron Judge was playing, still somehow, some way, slightly better than what Shohei Ohtani was bringing to the table. That is utterly mind-blowing to me. I want to give a shout-out to Oli Arenas, who's tuned in right now, saying happy Wednesday night. Happy Wednesday to you as well, as we are growing the channel here on not just Facebook, YouTube, and X, where we normally broadcast, but now also on National Streaming Sports on Roku. All you have to do, download Roku, and then, boom, download the National Streaming Sports app, and you can get all the great programming, including the tipping point with my Tipton. I don't know if I'm going to put myself there where it says the great programming, but I will do what I got to do to help sell this stuff, buddy. You know that. Okay. Getting back to the game. The New York Yankees coming into this game, obviously down 3-1. These are must-win games for the Yankees. No team in the history of being down 3-0 has ever forced a game 6. Just flatly, it's never happened. The Yankees became only the second team out of the 23 that have been down 3-0 in the World Series to win Game 4. That shows you how insurmountable the odds are against the Yankees in the World Series to actually make a comeback. And they did the most cruel thing that a team can possibly do. They gave their fans hope for 4 full innings. 4 full innings. The Yankees get out to that 5-0 lead, and the fans are thinking to themselves, maybe we get back to LA, Game 6, anything can happen. Let's make it to Game 7, right? Where literally anything can happen in Game 7. Instead, in the blink of an eye, a 5-run 5th inning erases all of what the Yankees did, and now you can see, you can feel, you can watch in that stadium just how heavy it feels inside that stadium. I want to give a shout out to my dude, David Halpern, who's tuned into the show right now on the tipping point with Mike Tipton. What the Yankees are going through right now and what their fans have to be going through right now has to be just one of those mind bleeps that you don't ever want to experience in sports. And somehow, some way, I was not expecting to see this. Garrett Cole gave up 4 hits and 5 runs in the 5th inning, and the Yankees still trotted him out there to start the 6th inning. If you had the over-under on the amount of batters faced, I believe it was 17.5 batters faced, we might actually be able to get him through the 6th inning. Maybe he gets all 18 if you are a person that likes to wager on certain things. Here in the state of Texas, we don't have that. And I know a lot of the audience is tuning in right now, not just from the state of Texas, but here in Texas, we don't have gambling the way that a lot of other states do. So this is going to be fun, at least. Maybe. I'm hoping. More than likely not, but we'll see how it goes. Garrett Cole able to get the first out here on a fly ball out to left field. Verdugo able to get under that, get that out as well. The New York Yankees coming into this series, I thought, was not the team that could beat the Dodgers. To me, the Dodgers are one of the best, if not the best team in baseball. Imagine what this team becomes if you get a healthy Shohei Ohtani. But now that Shohei is injured, right? Like you can see he's struggling with the shoulder as Garrett Cole throws in a strike on the first pitch here to Will Smith. Now, I can't do play-by-play. I shouldn't be doing play-by-play. It's just a thing that I go to because I've done play-by-play a lot in my lifetime. My apologies. Now, the Yankees going into this series, you thought to yourselves, this has been a nice story, right? And I saw all the stuff that was out there from fans. I saw all the stuff that was out there from the media talking about how it was an easy run for the Yankees to get to the World Series. Now, granted, going up against Kansas City kind of snuck in the back door to get into the postseason. That's not a team anyone was really scared of. Cleveland, maybe not the bats, but the pitching in Cleveland, especially with Class A at the end of the game, and the Yankees found a way to get to Class A. But again, that's not quite the gauntlet, right? Think about what the Dodgers had to go through. The best offense in baseball in the San Diego Padres. Then you had what had to be the hottest team in baseball since June in the New York Metropolitans. The Dodgers dispatched them like nothing. They were a buzzsaw coming into the World Series. The Dodgers are firing on all cylinders coming into the World Series. Win game one off the walk-off grand slam from Freddie Freeman, which was just mind-blowing. A ton of people out there could not have called that one because it was the first time you get a walk-off grand slam in World Series history. Then you got game two. It just felt like the Dodgers were going to, win that no matter what. Freddie Freeman, again, home runs in each of these games. Game three, Freddie Freeman hits a home run. And yeah, the Dodgers get out to an early 4-0 lead. And it just feels like with that 4-0 lead in their bullpen that it's insurmountable for the Yankees to be able to come back on them. Then it all flips in game four where the Yankees put up 11 runs, which was just out of nowhere, given what we had seen from this team. But that was a bullpen game for all intents and purposes that the Dodgers trotted out there. That's one of those games where you say, you know what, I don't mind if I lose this game. And that's exactly what happened with the Dodgers. Now you've got basically a series reset, right? The Dodgers don't have to go with the full bullpen. Now yesterday they didn't even get deep into their bullpen. They were able to kind of save some of the big power arms for this game today to try to close the door on the Yankees, as Garrett Cole already got 2 outs, and it looks like he's going to get his third out if the Yankees don't play as bad on defense as they did in the 5th inning. That's foreshadowing right there for what it was that I was going to talk about. The New York Yankees in that 5th inning, and what we just saw today in game 5 in that 5th inning, Aaron Judge takes his eyes off the ball on a lazy fly ball to center field, looking at the runner who's not going to tag up at second with as close as Aaron Judge was to the infield. Then you have Anthony Volpe out at short, gets the ball, only has one throw to go over to third base, throws it over to Jazz Chisholm, but instead of being a nice clean throw, short hops it, runner safe, bases loaded. And it was just then, right? Garrett Cole gets strikeouts, gets the first 2 outs, and then out of nowhere gets a ground ball to Mookie Betts. The ground ball goes over to first base with Anthony Rizzo, and somehow, some way, Garrett Cole thought to himself, I'm not going to run to first base. You never see a pitcher not run to first base. And Garrett Cole took game 5 of the World Series with a now 5-3 lead to decide that was the moment that he was going to make sure I'm not going to run over to first. It's been sloppy defense, and it's been terrible, just bad baseball that has done the Yankees in. Bad base running, untimely swings. You saw Aaron Judge just loading up, trying to just crank home runs because he was in such a slump. The New York Yankees were bad for 3 games and now 1 inning. And that 1 inning can cost them the entire thing in the World Series. I know that there's the conspiracy theories out there that, the Dodgers are going to lose game 5 on purpose to go to game 6. The Major League Baseball wants a 7th game in the World Series, blah, 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 blah. That stuff I don't pay attention to. That's just not going to happen. You want to close the door on a team. You don't ever want to give them hope. The Dodgers really were trying to get a sweep yesterday. They have a great bullpen, and that's what Dave Roberts was trying to trust. The Yankees just were better yesterday. After getting that 5-run lead, it felt like the Dodgers didn't have a chance, and then they did. And now it feels, because we've seen this play out with the Yankees before. Don't forget, they had a lead in game 1. The Yankees could have gone into LA and stole game 1. We're talking about a completely different series here in game 5 if that's the case. But the Dodgers had come back, tie the game. The Yankees get the lead in the 10th inning. And then what happens? Freddie Freeman just hits a bomb. An absolute bomb. The Dodgers bringing in Gratterall here in the 6th inning. He is going to face Soto, Judge, Chisholm, and maybe Stanton if someone gets on base. So we'll see how that goes here as the Yankees currently 5-5 in the bottom of the 6th inning in Game 5 of the World Series. I've gone on a little bit longer than what I wanted to, but I just wanted to get that out there, talking about what the Yankees have and what the Yankees have not, which is they don't have the depth in the bullpen. They don't have the arms in starting pitching that the Dodgers have. Outside of Garrett Cole, who do you really trust if you're a Yankees fan right now? Who do you trust to win the potential Game 6 if you get to Game 6? Soto was swinging out of his shoes on that one. What pitcher do you have for the Yankees that you can legitimately say, this is a guy who's going to help us win this game? This is a guy who's going to help us be the best team that we can do. Is it Rodon? Is it Luis Gil? I don't think it's either one of them. The only pitcher you have that's a really dominant pitcher was Garrett Cole, and he got rocked in the 5th inning. Yes, he bounced back, got through the 6th inning, reached those 18 batters. If you were betting on the amount of batters that he faced, you went with the 17.5. You went over. You're a winner today. Congratulations on you, because I wouldn't have thought that was going to cash out whenever the 5th inning happened. But the New York Yankees have a lot that they still need to rebuild on. The New York Yankees have a lot that is left to be desired in this World Series. And the fact of the matter is, if the Yankees lose this World Series, the only way they can get back is by re-signing Juan Soto. This team, as Sandra Garcia sending me the crying eyes, Sandra Garcia, a huge Yankees fan as well, watching this team just choke away a 5-run lead. Gratterall hits 100 miles an hour on a fastball. However, it's a walk to Juan Soto. That's going to bring up Aaron Judge. Let's see what happens here. Judge yesterday might have gotten hot. That might have been what we needed. Just get the knock, right? He hits the home run. If you're watching the game earlier today, he has a great play out in center field, running into the wall. The commentators ask, is the wall okay? Because nothing can prepare anything for a guy the size of Aaron Judge running into you. I don't care what you are. And the Yankees might have him hot, but it might be a little too late as he watches a changeup just go right down the middle. I guess he was getting some fastball right there. Sandra Garcia saying, yes, we need Soto back. The sleeping giant has fallen asleep again. Maybe not. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I'm watching on Hulu right now, so I might be a little bit behind everyone else as I'm giving these updates. Most people probably not watching this show live, but if you are, thank you so much. As I can see the numbers of the people that are tuned in, let's go ahead and see if we can't get those numbers up here. Also, for my people that are in El Paso, for the people that have tuned into my stuff over the last 6 years now that I think about it, ever since I moved back in 2018. For those of you that have been longtime fans and longtime listeners and supporters, please go over to Roku and download the National Streaming Sports app. That way you can watch this show and all the silliness that comes along with this show on Roku. As Aaron Judge is at bat right now, we're going to take a break because I feel like I might need some alcohol, and I may not want to drink that on a brand new partnership that I have. Maybe I should hide the bottles that are behind me and all the stuff that's behind me. I don't know. I got to talk to Mac and Linda to find out what's going on, what I can and cannot do on the Roku channel. I'm trying to be as professional as possible, but those that know me know that's very, very difficult for me to do. Okay, so whenever we come back here on the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, we are going to have another segment as we watch the Yankees going on over here. We'll talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the woes that they have, and we'll talk about what I think is the most dominant team in the NFL. All that and more whenever we come back on the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. What's up, everybody? Mike Tipton here on a Sunday afternoon, about to enjoy the Dallas Cowboys taking on the San Francisco 49ers. And I want to let you know about my friends over at Beer Box. Beerbox.com is a place that I went to get my craft beer delivered at home. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into it. The first beer we're going to be trying is from Fat Orange Cap Brewing Company in North Haven, Connecticut. I am so mad at myself because I was just there a couple of weeks ago and I should have stopped by the brewery and tried some of their beers, but I got it delivered by my friends over at Beer Box. So let's go ahead and give it a try. A little ASMR for the ASMR audience here. The Baby Kittens from Fat Orange Cat Brew Company in North Haven, Connecticut is a hazy IPA. And you can see right there how beautiful it is, how hazy that looks. It's got a 6.5% ABV, so you know it's going to pack a little bit of a punch. I'm not a big IPA guy, but I can't wait to try this one. I can already smell that it's going to be super fresh. So here we go. Cheers. That is very interesting. It's not super impactful like what you normally get with a lot of IPAs. I think I might be a fan. I think a hazy IPA might be the way that I'm going to start going in the future. There you have it. The Baby Kittens from Fat Orange Cat Brewing Company in North Haven, Connecticut. I'm giving that one an 8 out of a 10. That is a great overall beer. So the next beer we have is going to be the Greenhouse Pilsner from Evil Twin Brewing Company in Ridgewood, New York. This is a Pilsner. It's got a 5% alcohol ABV on it, but you can see here an absolutely beautiful can. I love the artwork on that. That thing is absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to try this one. Here we go again for the ASMR audience. Oh, that was good. Look at that thing of beauty right there from the Evil Twin Brewing Company in Ridgewood, New York. This Greenhouse Pilsner, look how beautiful that beer is right there. There we go. Bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. Man, that's good. That is phenomenal. I'm giving that one a 9 out of a 10. That beer is absolutely flavorful. What you need to do to try different beers like this from different areas, you don't have to travel out of town anymore and try to find them out. All you have to do is go over to beerbox.com. It's super simple the way that it works. So here's what you got to do. Just simply subscribe. That's simple. Can't be any easier than that. It's month to month, and you can cancel any time. Obviously, you must be 21 to enjoy. Then all you got to do is get ready. The experts at Beerbox select a top-notch variety of craft beer packed, shipped directly to your front door. Then just sit back and enjoy a monthly surprise of quality craft beer from the best breweries across America. Once again, beerbox.com, that's the place that you go to order all the best craft beer throughout the United States. Get your subscription today. Must be 21 or over to enjoy. Welcome back to the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, right here on YouTube, via StreamYard, and of course on Roku with our friends over at National Streaming Sports. Right there, as the commercial ended, we got to see Giancarlo Stanton hit a pop fly. Both runners advanced. You had runners on first and third. It was Juan Soto and Jazz Chisholm. Jazz Chisholm showing off his speed as he's able to get in safely on a pop fly sorry, my mind's all over the place. I'm just happy the Yankees have a lead right now. But on a fly ball going out to the outfield, a sac fly rather, and he's able to advance over to second base. Now we got Anthony Rizzo at bat for the Yankees, as the Yankees now have a 6-5 lead in Game 5 over the Los Angeles Dodgers. Okay. So I had mentioned it leading into the break that I was going to talk a little bit about the Dallas Cowboys and their woes and all the stuff that's going on with them. And I saw articles today via ESPN and a bunch of the other outlets that are out there talking about what can the Dallas Cowboys do to get better and try to salvage this year. Everyone out there says make a trade, get a wide receiver, address the offensive line, address the defense, whatever it may be, maybe even go out and try to get a running back, though Zeke had a pretty decent game, and I'm a believer in Rico Dowdle. The issue that I have with the Dallas Cowboys is you are not good enough to do anything this season. Even if you make it into the playoffs by some miracle of God, if you make a trade and somehow, some way, it makes the team just that much better to where they can make it into the playoffs, the way they are currently built, the Dallas Cowboys will not win a playoff game. They just can't. We see what the weakness is with the Dallas Cowboys. And in the NFC, where you have teams at the top that can run the football, That is what the Dallas Cowboys cannot do. They cannot run the ball and they cannot stop the run. Unless you're going to go out and legitimately get guys to line up on your defense that are going to help you out in the interior part of the defense. Because as we know, Parsons is out for a while. Lawrence is going to be out for a while. Maybe they come back to help out your edge, right? But this doesn't seem like the year for me, if I'm a Cowboys fan, that I'm making any trade demands at all. And as a Cowboys fan, I don't want them to make any trades unless it's going to be trading away big names that can bring in draft picks, because that's what the Dallas Cowboys need to do, is just start building in the draft. I don't think this team, the way that they are currently made up right now, is even a 9-win team. Like the way I'm looking at this team, if they can get 6 more wins this season, I'd be a happy guy. You got to look at what they have coming up. They have Philadelphia, they have Atlanta, they have the Commanders, and they have the Giants in there as well. Out of those teams, you can see maybe 1 win. And the Giants are not like an easy put out, especially not for the way that the Cowboys are right now, especially not for the way that the Cowboys have been playing. The Giants, again, not a great team, but neither are the Dallas Cowboys. And we've seen Danny Dimes have success against the Cowboys. The Cowboys can't stop a run. Guess what? The Giants found themselves a running back. At least it kind of looks that way, right? So I look at this Dallas Cowboys team and I think to myself, there's not anything that you really should be doing. And I'm sorry, Dallas Cowboys fans, and I don't want to sound like I'm nihilistic and I think it's the end of the world or anything like that for the Cowboys. I just don't think this season is it. Also, don't get me started on the whole it's our year thing. Nobody really does that if you're a Cowboys fan. But the fact of the matter is that this year, there were some hopes, right? At the beginning of the season, there's always optimism that maybe this team could be able to do something and maybe they'll be halfway decent, kind of. Maybe they'll pull something out. Maybe there'll be some magic there. And we've just seen this whole time that there's no magic with this Dallas Cowboys team. And it pains me to say that as someone that is a Dallas Cowboys fan, but it's just simply the fact of the matter. And I am more realistic than not in knowing that this team is just not where it needs to be if they want to be an actual legitimate contender. But someone had asked me earlier today, and that's not one of those like hyperbole things of like, let me try to have this transition. Someone actually asked me today, who do I think is the best team in the NFL? And I had to sit back and I had to think about it a little bit, because if you look at records, you can easily just say the Kansas City Chiefs. And I even alluded to it on Saturday on Fire and Ice, as we had our first Fire and Ice here on Roku, as well as we were teamed up with National Streaming Sports. I mentioned that the Kansas City Chiefs, once they get healthy, once they get going, can be the most dominant team in the NFL. They have Patrick Mahomes. They've proven it to us. This team has won ugly. This team has won ways that they shouldn't be winning. This team has shown everybody, okay, look, it doesn't have to be perfect in order for us to win. And normally I would say that that's the team that terrifies me, right? The team that can go out there and just win the ugly games, that can win despite not playing their best. And that's what we've seen with Kansas City. They've gotten nowhere near what their best output could possibly be. And instead, what they've done is just go out and win. But then I look in the NFC, and there's a team in the NFC that absolutely terrifies me if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs. There's a team in the NFC that absolutely terrifies me as a Dallas Cowboys fan, because I got to see what they did to the Dallas Cowboys earlier this year. And as odd as it is to say this, I think the best overall team in the NFL is the Detroit Lions. And if I'm being completely honest with myself and with y'all, I don't even think it's close. I look at the Lions, the way that they're built, and I see a team that can win ugly, that can win finesse. Look at this last game they had, where they had almost as many yards in special teams, kickoff returns and punt returns, as they did in passing yards from their quarterback, Jared Goff. They scored 3 touchdowns on defense and special teams. They had 35 points, and Jared Goff had 80 yards passing. That shows you what this team is capable of doing, and it is absolutely terrifying to think about that team going into your home in the playoffs because, yeah, they have a dynamic passing game with Sean Laporta and with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Then you look at what they have in the backfield with Jahmyr Gibbs and with DeAndre Swift. This is a whole team built offensively, and they're going to find a way to get offensive linemen as many touchdowns as they possibly can because we need as many thick sixes as possible, apparently, if you are a fan of the Detroit Lions. Now, is there a weakness on this team? I believe there is, as I am watching Volpe now ground out to end the inning in the 6th inning. He had 2 runners on, but the Yankees ultimately able to get the lead here going into the 7th inning with the 6-5 lead over the LA Dodgers. This game is going to give me a heart attack. I am just not ready to see the Yankees end the season this way. I want it to go at least 6, so let's get this win. If the Yankees win this game, they become the first team in MLB history to be down 0-3 and force a game 6. I'm not one for moral victories, but it feels like it could be a pretty decent moral victory if you are a Yankees fan. Okay, going back to the Detroit Lions. The only weakness that I can see on this team might be pass rush, and that's just because of the loss that they had with Aiden Hutchinson. It's hard to replace a guy who was on a pace to break an NFL sack record, a single season sack record, that is. And whenever you look at what Hutchinson's been able to do over the season, the motor that he has, his ability to just get to the quarterback at any time that he wants, that's a little something that is hard to replicate. Now, of course, obviously, defensively, they have the ability to step up and to take over. And as we saw, and it's weird to say, okay, maybe that's the thing, nitpicking on a team that scored 52 points and 3 touchdowns were defensive touchdowns or special teams touchdowns, and saying that might be the weakness of this team. That just shows you how good I think this team is. The Detroit Lions, to me, and I would have never in my life thought that I could actually say this. The Detroit Lions, to me, should be the overall favorite to win the Super Bowl. And I cannot believe those words just came out of my mouth. I got a ton of friends in El Paso that are Detroit Lions fans, and the second they hear that, they're going to be like, "Oh wow, I can't believe this guy just said that," or they're going to think I jinxed their season because maybe that's what I do. We shall see. As far as the AFC, obviously it's got to be the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, to me, it's got to be the I can't even say the Ravens anymore. I thought maybe the Ravens get some wins here and there. They might be a team to look out for. I still think that at the top of that conference, it's the Kansas City Chiefs not playing their best and still a wide margin of teams, or a wide margin rather, between where the Kansas City Chiefs are and where the second best team in the AFC is. I look at Baltimore and I see them lose to Cleveland with Jameis Winston at quarterback. And I think to myself, this isn't a great Cleveland team, right? This isn't a team that anyone should really be losing all that much to. Like we saw the limitations of this team with Deshaun Watson as their quarterback. Is changing the quarterback really going to make that much of a difference? I normally would have said, okay, maybe Houston. And then Stephon Diggs got hurt. What's Houston going to look like? We've seen Joe Mixon have issues already. Like he's left a couple of games. He missed a few games there for a while. I should know. I got him on one of my fantasy teams. Nico Collins is missing games. What is this team going to be once the injuries start mounting up? Can you trust the Houston Texans to knock off the Kansas City Chiefs? And I can honestly say, no, I cannot. Right? And I love my Texas teams. Don't get me wrong. I'm one of those annoying Texans, and I own it. I think any team in Texas is going to be any team anywhere. But I cannot see a scenario in the AFC where anybody can beat the Kansas City Chiefs And the thing is, the Kansas City Chiefs are very injured right now. They're missing Isaiah Pacheco. They lost Rashee Rice. They lost Hollywood Brown. Like there's injuries on this team, and they're still finding ways to win games. Received a text from my guy, James Steele, letting me know that he is still shocked that Cole is in this game. I can't believe that Garrett Cole got trotted out to the 7th inning. Had that rough 5th inning, and just like that, it looks like he's got 2 easy outs. So can Garrett Cole get the 21st out of the game and keep the Yankees in on this? So he's on the hook to win this game right now because the Yankees have themselves a 6-5 lead. I feel bad for people trying to keep up with me today. I'm all over the place. My apologies to everyone out there. I'm just excited about what's going on here. Maybe it was a bad idea to have the Yankees game on the screen right next to me. Maybe I should have had it playing back over here like I did on Saturday with Bama and Mizzou, right? Okay. The AFC to me is locked up. And I know it sounds like I just said that about the NFC as well. But there's one team in the NFC that I think once they get healthy, and if, because it's a huge caveat, right? That if they're able to get healthy, would be tough for the Lions to get over. And that's the San Francisco 49ers. I'm not saying it because they beat the Cowboys this week. I'm saying it because they're another team that's very injured. Yeah, they lost Brandon Ayuk for the season, but they're also missing Christian McCaffrey. And if Christian McCaffrey can come back and give you any kind of production near what we're used to seeing from Christian McCaffrey, you might have yourselves a bit of a problem if you're in the NFC. Christian McCaffrey coming back would be huge for the San Francisco 49ers. And that would, to me, depending on what version of Christian McCaffrey you get, would determine whether or not the San Francisco 49ers can give the Detroit Lions, and again, it's weird to say that, if the San Francisco 49ers can give the Detroit Lions a run for their money and stop them from making it to the Super Bowl. I said it last week. I'm going to double down on it again today. I believe that the Super Bowl is going to be between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions. I'm not going out on much of a limb here, but it just feels like that's the collision course that we are about to get. Garrett Cole goes 6 2/3 innings. It looks like he might be taken out at this moment right now as Aaron Boone is walking over to the mound. Yep, he's getting the pats on the back. He's going out of the game right now. So a pitching change for the New York Yankees, who are currently leading 6-5 in Game 5 of the World Series. Top of the 7th inning there as they go over to commercial. We'll do the exact same thing here. Whenever we come back on the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, we're going to continue watching, I guess, narrating this game. If you're watching me and the Yankees at the same time, you should probably be watching them. I'm just going to say it on out there anyway. But if you are watching right now, that's awesome. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Also, if you are on Facebook, YouTube, X, anywhere out there, check out Roku, download the National Streaming Sports app, and you can watch this show on Roku via the National Streaming Sports app. More with the New York Yankees and the NFL whenever we return on the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton.
Hi, this is Jim Paul. I'm a 2-time cancer survivor, and cancer is a very scary word. And we as El Pasoans have an opportunity to do something about that, and that is get our own cancer treatment center here in our town. I was born, raised, and educated here in El Paso, and we had a lot of success with the things I did with the Diablo Baseball and Hospice El Paso, but I want to tell you something right now. In this coming election, there is a bond issue, Proposition A, for UMC to have, for El Paso, their own cancer treatment center with the latest technology, cutting edge, everything. We don't have to go to Houston anymore if we can afford to, time and time again. It has a burn center included. We don't have to fly to Lubbock when we have severe burns. It includes upgrades to all our clinics, which are highly successful now. It includes upgrading of all surgical and equipment and latest technology in imaging, all the most important things that are for our community. It does not include salaries. This is all structural things, equipment things. It is so important for us to go out and vote yes for item 351 on Proposition A. Vote yes for us. It might be the last thing on the ballot, but it should be the first thing in our hearts. It's do it, El Paso. Do it for us.
Hello, everybody. Bernie Olivas, Executive Director of the Sun Bowl Association, giving a little update for the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, which will be played on December 31st at noon at the Sun Bowl Stadium. Still too early to find out who's coming to the game, but I'll give you a little update. I get a lot of questions as to what's going to happen with the Pac-12 now that they're dissolved. Well, for the next 2 years, the Sun Bowl Association will have a pick of all the Pac-12 schools that left. So we still have access. We're going to still have access to UCLA and USC and Washington and Oregon and Cal and Arizona State and Utah. But on the other side, it's still going to be the ACC. So a lot of people have been asking the questions about now that there's only 2 Pac-12 teams, who are you going to go? Well, now you know, again, December 31st, 12 noon, Sun Bowl Stadium. Tickets are going pretty well. So don't be left out. Come by the office or go to Ticketmaster and get your tickets. We'll be waiting for you.
Get ready, Sun Bowl fans. The 2024 Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl is back, and it's bigger and better than ever. Mark your calendars. Tickets are now on sale. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to the action, don't miss out on the best seats in the house. Secure your tickets before Thanksgiving and be a part of the tradition. Last year's game was a sellout. Don't wait until it's too late. Join us on December 31st for a day of unforgettable football, family fun, and festive cheer. Visit sunbowl.org to grab your tickets. The clock is ticking. Be there when history is made.
Welcome back to the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton right here on Roku, national streaming sports app, as well as the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton Facebook page, the Tipton Sports Broadcasting Network Facebook page, and on X and YouTube as well. Thank you all so much for being a part of today's show. Tuning in for that. Today's show, surprise, 2 hours long. That's how many hours they gave me on Roku. I cannot believe they made that mistake. They're going to regret it undoubtedly later on today, more than likely, as I continue to watch what's going on here with the Yankees. They take Garrett Cole out, and then boom, just like that, Clay Holmes comes in and throws 5 straight balls. Not a good look for Clay Holmes, who is now 2-2 on Max Muncy right now, as the Yankees are trying to hold on to a 6-5 lead over the Los Angeles Dodgers in Game 5 of the World Series. Clay Holmes missing outside once again. It's not looking good for him. He might wind up getting the bases loaded, as there are currently 2 on for the Dodgers here in this game. Now, and that one was actually close. That one might have been a little iffy on there. I'm not one to complain about the officiating or umpires or anything like that. I just know that, you know, every now and then it gets a little tense. All right, so now I want to give a shout out to a couple of people that are tuned in right now. Yvonne Dominguez, who's tuned in. Sandra Garcia, who's continued to watch the show as well and give in a ton of comments as well. Remember, the comments, the likes, all those things, those help the show grow, help us grow here, as we are now introduced to a brand new partner in national streaming sports and their Roku channel. So once again, thank you all so much for being a part of today's show. Clay Holmes able to get out of that inning. Thank goodness. And now the Yankees come up here in the bottom of the 7th to try to add on to this lead. And let's see what happens with the New York Yankees. Everyone knows I'm a Yankees fan, so I might be a little more biased as to what's going on here. But I said it earlier this year. Again, the Dodgers, to me, the most complete team in baseball. I alluded to it a little bit earlier about the potential of the Yankees and what could possibly go on with this team as they move forward here in the World Series. Again, I have them losing this World Series. I don't think it was a World Series they were going to win. I thought maybe 7, maybe 6. Definitely didn't think 4, definitely didn't think 5, and there's a real possibility of 5 happening tonight. But I thought that this team needs to do everything they can to hold on to Juan Soto. Again, you got to remember, baseball is so much different than the other sports because of the fact that there's not a salary cap. So there's not a certain amount of money that any team is allowed to spend or not spend. Yes, there's a floor, so you have to meet that salary minimum, but there's not a cap. So you can spend as much as your little heart desires, as much as your team can afford, right? That's why we can see the Dodgers be able to manipulate things and get Shohei Ohtani along with Mookie Betts, along with a long list of players that they were able to add to their team. And you know what? I'm not mad at it. You got the money, spend the money, right? But then I heard the most terrifying thing possible, which is no matter what happens at the end of this series, the LA Dodgers are going to go all in on trying to sign Juan Soto. Along with that, you'll have, because the New York Mets have been talking about it since last year, the New York Mets in on this to try to get Juan Soto. And then, of course, the Yankees doing all they can to make sure they keep Juan Soto with the New York Yankees. Now, I think about this and I think about the possible scenarios that happen here. Do the Yankees just hit him with a hammer and say, here's 14 years, 600 million, here's 14 years, 700 million, whatever the number may be, and let's see if any of these other teams want to match it? The Mets, maybe. The Dodgers, maybe, right? So I think what needs to happen here is the Yankees need to take a back seat, see what these two teams are going to be offering Juan Soto, and then think to themselves, which one do I want to beat, right? Which one of these guys is going to say, this is what we're going to do? Where's the cap on what Juan Soto is going to make? Where is that going to be? Because I really do feel like the Shohei Ohtani getting the $700 million contract he got has blown the top off of anything that we got used to as sports fans back in the day. The amount of money that is in baseball that Juan Soto can make is astonishing to me. And maybe you give Juan Soto a 14-year deal, right? Let's just go with the hypothetical. You give him a 14, maybe a 15-year deal. He's only 26 years old. I know he looks like he's 58, but he's only 26 years old. He hasn't even hit his prime yet as an MLB baseball player. You team that up with Aaron Judge for the next 7 or 8 years, and you have something there for your team. On the flip side of that, if Juan Soto were to go to the Dodgers on a long-term deal, think about what they have. They're eventually going to lose Freddie Freeman because he's getting older. They're eventually going to lose Mookie Betts because he's also, he's still a young dude, but he's getting older as well. But you would have Juan Soto teamed up with Shohei Ohtani. Is Shohei Ohtani ever going to pitch again? If I'm the Dodgers, I don't let him throw a baseball ever again. We're already seeing the issues. Like he seems like he's going to have arm issues the rest of his career. So maybe you just keep him as a DH, let him knock out those bombs, let him steal 50 bags, hit 50 home runs as well. And maybe that's just what you have him do for the remainder of his career. And you know what? I'm happy with it. I ain't mad. I'm happy with it. Team it up with a dynamic player like Juan Soto. And now you're talking about a team that with Betts, with Freeman, with Soto, with the way that they're built right now, with Tommy Edman, with Teoscar Hernandez, this team could just run baseball for 5 years or so. There has to be a foil here, right? Like there has to be a bad guy here or a hero for those that aren't Dodgers fans. There has to be a hero out there to stop this from happening. And I think that it has to be the Yankees. It cannot be the Mets. The Mets have already proven they don't necessarily know what it is that they're doing. The highest payroll in baseball, they started this season, and it took a miracle for them to get to where they got. It's got to be the New York Yankees, and you got to find a way to capitalize on this window that you have right now. Look at what's in the Yankees lineup. Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and maybe we throw Jazz Chisholm in there. You know, they've got some talent sprinkled around. You've got to sit back and think that the Yankees need to add to this. And I don't think it's on the batting side. I think it's on the pitching side. The Yankees need to go out and get pitching. They were in the conversation to try to get Yamamoto. Yamamoto signs a $300 million deal to go with the Dodgers. The Dodgers are flexing on the Yankees these last couple of years. Everyone thought Shohei to the Yankees was going to be a thing, and then boom, Dodgers get him because we all thought it was going to be the Dodgers anyway, right? Like that was the route that everyone thought it was going to go, either the Yankees or the Dodgers. The Yankees are in a position that they have not been in quite some time, and that's you are not the premier destination anymore. As Yankees fans, at least as I am, as at least I know a couple of people tuned into the show are, you have to sit back and think about what the Yankees need to do to ensure that they are a competitive team. We're looking at the AL East. Baltimore's not going anywhere for a while, y'all. Baltimore's going to stick there with this team just as good as this team. Yeah, they didn't make it as far as what we thought they all would, but there's talent on that team, and you know they're going to bounce back. Toronto, maybe Toronto has said they're not going to keep Vlad Jr. Maybe you get Vlad Jr. at first base, have him switch out with Rizzo. Maybe that's what you do if you're the Yankees. But you've got to sit here and try to find out what it is that the Yankees are going to add. And what they really desperately need isn't another bat. It's more pitching. You want to get another bat? Cool, fine. I'm not mad at you. It's Yankee Stadium. Balls fly out of that place all the time. Hit as many home runs as you possibly can. But the only way you're going to win is if you have consistent, good pitching. Checking in on the game right here as we continue on the tipping point with Mike Tipton. We have the Yankees and Dodgers. The Yankees right now with a 6-5 lead in the bottom of the seventh inning, 1 out, and Anthony Verdugo up to the plate for the Yankees right now, fouling off a couple of pitches. So we'll see if the Yankees are able to keep it going right now. Oralia Chops tuned into the show as well. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Once again, remember, if you have a Roku-capable TV, download the National Streaming Sports app. The National Streaming Sports app on Roku. That's how you can get some of the tipping point with Mike Tipton. I see my guy Richard Pineda, Dr. P, tuned into the show right now as well. I'm watching, and I am on the verge of having a heart attack. This Yankees and Dodgers World Series Game 5 going on right now. The Yankees, Verdugo still fighting off pitches. He's down now 2-2 as the pitch comes in over to him. And that was a bad strike. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to elaborate on that. That was a bad strike 3 call. I will be as nice as I possibly can about that and not say things that I want to say just because I know I probably shouldn't say it given the position that I'm in right now and our new partnership with National Streaming Sports. They've got some great stuff over there at National Streaming Sports. I cannot wait to show you all more about what we're going to be doing every Saturday from now on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in El Paso. Fire and Ice will be live on National Streaming Sports as well. So we're going to be on Roku over there, just trying to grow this partnership and see all the stuff that we can do together in this podcasting world, in this live streaming world that we now live in currently. So Verdugo goes down on a bad strike call. Now the Yankees have some action up in their bullpen, maybe to take out Clay Holmes, to have Canely do the 8th inning here. Gleyber Torres looking at pitches. That's a good eye because I probably would have swung at all that stuff there. But again, Yankees, Dodgers, Game 5 of the World Series is where we're at right now. Everyone, we're going to take a break. We got hour number 2 coming up. To kick off hour number 2, a conversation that I had with Sonny Choi, Olympic break dancer. Sonny Choi is going to be joining me here on the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. We're now live on Roku. We are still live on YouTube, on X, and on Facebook. A little more of all that stuff where it came from whenever we return on the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. What's up, everybody? Mike Tipton here on a Sunday afternoon, about to enjoy the Dallas Cowboys taking on the San Francisco 49ers. And I want to let you know about my friends over at Beer Box. Beerbox.com is a place that I went to get my craft beer delivered at home. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into it. The first beer we're going to be trying is from Fat Orange Cat Brewing Company in North Haven, Connecticut. I am so mad at myself because I was just there a couple of weeks ago, and I should have stopped by the brewery and tried some of their beers, but I got it delivered by my friends over at Beer Box, so let's go ahead and give it a try. A little ASMR for the ASMR audience here. The Baby Kittens from Fat Orange Cat Brew Company in North Haven, Connecticut is a hazy IPA. And you can see right there how beautiful it is, how hazy that looks. It's got a 6.5% ABV, so you know it's going to pack a little bit of a punch. I'm not a big IPA guy, but I can't wait to try this one. I can already smell that it's going to be super fresh. So here we go. Cheers. That is very interesting. It's not super impactful like what you normally get with a lot of IPAs. I think I might be a fan. I think a hazy IPA might be the way that I'm going to start going in the future. There you have it. The Baby Kittens from Fat Orange Cat Brewing Company in North Haven, Connecticut. I'm giving that one an 8 out of 10. That is a great overall beer. So the next beer we have is going to be the Greenhouse Pilsner from Evil Twin Brewing Company in Ridgewood, New York. This is a Pilsner. It's got a 5% alcohol ABV on it, but you can see here an absolutely beautiful can. I love the artwork on that. That thing is absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to try this one. Here we go again for the ASMR audience. Oh, that was good. Look at that thing of beauty right there from the Evil Twin Brewing Company in Ridgewood, New York. This Greenhouse Pilsner, look how beautiful that beer is right there. Here we go. Bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. Man, that's good. That is phenomenal. I'm giving that one a 9 out of 10. That beer is absolutely flavorful. What you need to do to try different beers like this from different areas, you don't have to travel out of town anymore and try to find them out. All you have to do is go over to beerbox.com. It's super simple the way that it works. So here's what you got to do. Just simply subscribe. That's simple. Can't be any easier than that. It's month to month, and you can cancel any time. Obviously, you must be 21 to enjoy. Then all you got to do is get ready. The experts at BeerBox select a top-notch variety of craft beer packed, shipped directly to your front door. Then just sit back and enjoy a monthly surprise of quality craft beer from the best breweries across America. Once again, beerbox.com, that's the place that you go to order all the best craft beer throughout the United States. Get your subscription today. Must be 21 or over to enjoy.
Football season is here, and SeatGeek is my go-to for buying tickets. Now, with SeatGeek, every single ticket is backed with their buyer guarantee. We've all had plans change, and when you can't make it to the big game, SeatGeek has you covered. They're the only ticketer that allows you to return your tickets ahead of the event for credit with SeatGeek swaps. So when things come up, I know that my tickets won't go to waste. So what are you waiting for? Download the SeatGeek app to maximize your possibilities and shop live events with confidence.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. I have a special guest joining me today. Her name is Sunny Choi. She was the first selection as the American B-girl in the Olympics, and that is something that I have just been all about. If you've been paying attention to the show, I have spoken about how I basically focused in on the Summer Olympics this year, mainly the break dancing portion. Sonny, one, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, and congratulations on being the first Team USA B girl to compete in the Olympics. And tell me more about your story and what you're doing with the incredible edible egg and its meant to be broken initiative.
Well, thank you. I mean, honestly, I'm so grateful that I got to go to the Olympics. This is a childhood dream for me. I grew up as a high-level gymnast. I had Olympic dreams. They didn't really work out. I ended up working corporate. And then when they announced breaking was going to the Olympics, I took a leap of faith, quit my job, and started breaking full-time, and I made my way there. So, while the Olympics was amazing, it's really about my journey there and about the people I've partnered with, like the Incredible Egg, which has been such a great partnership with me, aligns with me. The tagline "meant to be broken" really kind of speaks to me in the sense of like breaking out the mold, doing something a little untraditional. And so, I'm just really grateful and happy that I got to do all this.
A lot of times, and I'm in one of those positions right now, kind of forced into one of those positions of where you got to take a leap of faith. A lot of times people will be intimidated by that, and that they have no idea where to start. What advice can you give people whenever they're ready to take that leap of faith?
Ooh, that's a good one. Honestly, it kind of comes down to figuring out what it is that's stopping you and whether it's worth it. For me, I had this, all these check boxes of things that I needed to do in my life to appear successful. I needed to buy a home and get married and have children. What I realized was all of these things could wait, and I could pursue my Olympic dreams, and it doesn't change any of that. And so I think for everybody, those obstacles are going to look different. And so it's really about figuring out what those are for you and then just seeing if you can overcome them.
So you mentioned before that, you had the life as a gymnast. That didn't work out, even though you had the Olympic aspirations. You go work the corporate job. You leave that, which we'll get to that in just a second. But then you discover breakdancing. How did you prepare? Like what was your routine? How did you get ready for the games? And what did you eat in order to fuel your body for those performances?
So I think the biggest thing for me was switching the way that I viewed myself as a breaker. I used to just see myself as a dancer, and then going to the Olympics, I had to really reframe everything and see myself as an athlete, and then look at my body as not just something that needs to be ready for training, but also kind of see that nutrition plays a part in this, mental health plays a part in this, and it's also everything that I do outside of the practice floor that gets me to where I need to be. And so kind of looking at nutrition in a very different way, making sure I'm getting protein in, which is, one of the biggest things to keep me fueled during long days of exercise. And then, with that, eggs being a big part of that, just because it's a great way to get in protein. I'm trying to get in about 15 to 20 grams every 4 hours. And so that means like sprinkling in a bunch of different high protein snacks and meals throughout the day. Some of my favorites being like pineapple fried rice with eggs, or to be honest, when I'm low on protein at the end of the night, I'm putting a fried egg on whatever meal I'm having.
I feel like that's the go-to, right? But I grew up with fried egg sandwiches. So for me, it's like, okay, that's always my go-to. That's like my comfort food. People don't get it, but I'm glad you get it. So at least we got that together. So obviously you've got to be super creative in order to kind of, break dance, do all these other things that you've been doing. How do you pursue that creativity in breakdancing and whenever you're in the kitchen preparing your meals?
Creativity kind of comes from everywhere and anywhere at any given point in time. Sometimes it'll just be somebody getting off a chair in a very strange or interesting way, and I'm like, oh, I can use that way. Or, walking by and looking at the menu and seeing an ingredient pairing that I never thought of and realizing I have something similar in my kitchen. So it's about walking through life with an open mind and kind of being open to experimenting, open to, quote unquote failing, right? We don't really fail. We're just learning from these mistakes and getting better with time. Just having fun and giving yourself the grace to just go out there and do something new and not be too hard when you make a mistake. That used to be something that was really hard for me, but working on that.
So now that you're back in the United States after a busy summer of going out breakdancing and performing phenomenally, I urge people, please watch the breakdancing competitions. They're on Peacock still. So you have an opportunity to watch what Sonny Choi was doing. It was amazing stuff. But now you're back. What are you looking forward to doing over the next couple of months?
I think first and foremost, it's about refueling and re-energizing. I put so much into the Olympic journey and training. So It's about kind of getting back to the kitchen, doing things that I love, spending time with my family, my dog. I'm looking forward to the holidays and making lots of delicious food, probably with egg. And then kind of getting myself ready so that next year I can open kind of that dance center, community center here in Queens.
I want to talk a little bit about the whole journey to get here, because it is so layered with things like we mentioned: gymnast, go to college, and then you have an amazing career. What was that career like? And then what was your mental, I guess, state of mind whenever you're like, I'm really about to leave this career to go breakdance? And how did your family receive that? Because I can't imagine anybody's family would be too happy with that.
I was lucky that this was not like a sudden decision, so my family weren't too surprised that that happened. I was working in New York City at a really big beauty brand as a director on their global creative operations team, and I had always known that I didn't want to stay in corporate forever, but I just didn't have that like push to get me out of the job. I wasn't really the happiest, and what was really making me happy was the dancing outside of working. But then my work started getting in the way because I was working really long hours. So honestly, it was kind of fortuitous that they announced that the Olympics, that breaking was going to be in the Olympics. And, I decided at that point, if I was going to get one shot, this is probably the best one. And so, I quit my job, told my family. They'd already seen me on TV through other events, and, I was traveling, making money dancing. So they were actually really supportive when I made that decision.
I can't stress like just how amazing that whole story is of being like, I graduated college, I'm doing everything that everyone says I'm supposed to do, and then now I'm going to chase my dreams. Sonny, that is absolutely inspiring, and I hope more people follow your style and everything that you've been doing. Again, congratulations on representing the United States in the Olympics and breakdancing, which again blows my mind because that is such a cool event, so much fun. Where can we go to learn more about your partnership specifically with Incredible Egg?
Meanttobebroken.org. You'll find actually another recipe as well as other great, a recipe of mine, the custard freeze, which I eat all the time as a frozen treat, relatively healthy, and also a lot of other ideas for eggs.
And finally, what does Meant to Be Broken mean to you?
This one is such a great partnership because Meant to Be Broken just speaks so closely to my journey. It's about breaking the mold, breaking out of kind of the usual expectations of society. It kind of speaks to my journey of making sure that on the outside, previous to this Olympic journey, I was doing everything right, checking off all the boxes, but not really doing what was making me happy. And so what I needed to do is break out of all that and try something new, break the mold. So, I was fortunate again to get this opportunity and do something a little bit untraditional. And I have no regrets, and I would never look back.
Sonny, again, you are such an inspiration. You've made this country even more proud of than what it could possibly be. And I wish you the best of luck on your journey going forward. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much.
Hi, this is Jim Paul. I'm a two-time cancer survivor, and cancer is a very scary word. And we as El Pasoans have an opportunity to do something about that. And that is get our own cancer treatment center here in our town. I was born, raised, and educated here in El Paso. And we had a lot of success with the things I did with the Diablo Baseball and Hospice El Paso. But I want to tell you something right now. In this coming election, there is a bond issue, Proposition A, for UMC to have, for El Paso, their own cancer treatment center with the latest technology, cutting edge, everything. We don't have to go to Houston anymore if we could afford to, time and time again. It has a burn center included. We don't have to fly to Lubbock when we have severe burns. It includes upgrades to all our clinics, which are highly successful now. It includes upgrading of all surgical and equipment and latest technology in imaging, all the most important things that are for our community. It does not include salaries. This is all structural things, equipment things. It is so important for us to go out and vote yes for item 351 on Proposition A. Vote yes for us. It might be the last thing on the ballot, but it should be the first thing in our hearts. Let's do it, El Paso. Do it for us.
Hello, everybody. Bernie Olivas, Executive Director of the Sun Bowl Association, giving a little update for the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, which will be played on December 31st at noon at the Sun Bowl Stadium. Still too early to find out who's coming to the game, but I'll give you a little update. I get a lot of questions as to what's going to happen with the Pac-12 now that they're dissolved. Well, for the next 2 years, the Sun Bowl Association will have a pick of all the Pac-12 schools that left. So we still have access. We're going to still have access to UCLA and USC and Washington and Oregon and Cal and Arizona State and Utah. But on the other side, it's still going to be the ACC. So a lot of people have been asking the questions about now that there's only 2 Pac-12 teams, where you're going to go. Well, now you know, again, December 31st, 12 noon, Sun Bowl Stadium. Tickets are going pretty well. So don't be left out. Come by the office or go to Ticketmaster and get your tickets. We'll be waiting for you.
Get ready, Sun Bowl fans. The 2024 Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl is back, and it's bigger and better than ever. Mark your calendars. Tickets are now on sale. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to the action, don't miss out on the best seats in the house. Secure your tickets before Thanksgiving and be a part of the tradition. Last year's game was a sellout. Don't wait until it's too late. Join us on December 31st for a day of unforgettable football, family fun, and festive cheer. Visit sunbowl.org to grab your tickets. The clock is ticking. Be there when history is made.
Welcome back to the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. A little technical difficulty there. I got to press my own buttons. I got to be my own producer, all of that good stuff going on over here. But you know what? I'm not going to complain. I want to say thank you to everyone that has tuned in. I want to say thank you especially to my guest, Sunny Choi. She joined me on behalf of Incredible Egg and their Meant to Be Broken initiative. That was awesome. A great conversation with her. Again, truly inspiring story. Had a job as an executive with a makeup company and decided, you know what? Let me go be an Olympic breakdancer. Ultimately makes the Olympic team and represents the United States in Paris in this previous Olympics, and what turns out to be the only Olympics for breakdancing competitively in the Olympic sports. Now, somehow, some way, during that time, the Yankees were able to choke away again another lead. Now down 7-6 to the LA Dodgers. They got Freddie Freeman in the box right now, in the batter's box, and he's up 2-1 on the count as Luke Weaver is trying to get the out here, trying to find a way to get an out here. The bases were loaded by Kaylee, and I was not 100% sure why they would take out Garrett Cole at that point. Like, he was dealing, he was doing all right. They probably could have kept him in, and it just seems like that decision is going to wind up being second guessed for quite some time coming up here in the future, especially if the Yankees wind up losing this game. They don't. Freddie Freeman ultimately strikes out right here in the to end the inning here. Now we're going to the middle of the 8th inning. The Yankees currently trailing, though, 7-6. The Yankees looking to become the first team in Major League Baseball history to bounce back. Again, I guess I can't even say bounce back, but to force a Game 6 in the World Series after being down 0-3. It's never happened before, and the way that it's going right now is now time is getting short on the New York Yankees. There's a slight possibility it doesn't happen again. I'm being optimistic. I think the Yankees are going to find a way to win this game. So hopefully they're able to come back, and we'll see what happens here. It's going to be extremely interesting watching what happens with the Yankees going forward here in this game, as I believe they have the top of the lineup coming up right now as well. Once again, we are on the tipping point with Mike Tipton here. We are live on Facebook, on YouTube, on X. I'm checking all the different areas, make sure we still got good audio. And of course, we are on Roku via the National Streaming Sports app. I was told right now that it's super easy to download and that I'm being watched on the TV, and it feels weird, my goofy self being watched on TV, but it's awesome to see that this partnership with National Streaming Sports is doing some amazing things out there in the world of podcasting and streaming. Check out all they have to offer on the National Streaming Sports platforms. I can't wait to check out some of the other things they got. Saturday coming up at 2 o'clock in El Paso, Fire and Ice will be live as well on National Streaming Sports and on Roku. Okay. So a lot of things have been going on in the world of sports. This, again, is my favorite time of the year. Monday, we had the sports equinox. We had the NFL. We had the NHL. We had the NBA, which is finally back. And we've had Major League Baseball with the World Series going on again. That is going to happen again on Sunday. And on this upcoming Sunday, you have a ton of teams, especially in the NFL, that are going to be jockeying for a position. And one of those games that I'm going to keep my eyes on is, of course, the Dallas Cowboys and the Atlanta Falcons. I spoke earlier about the Dallas Cowboys and what they have going on and what can make them better. And now I want to give a little bit of love to the Atlanta Falcons. This is a team that whenever they signed Kirk Cousins and then went and drafted Michael Penix Jr., had a lot of people out there basically saying this team doesn't know what they're doing, what blah, 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 all the nonsense that goes along with, you know, people in the outside world not knowing what teams are really wanting to do. I kind of sat back and I thought about this, that the signing of Kirk Cousins was actually kind of genius, as Juan Soto takes a pitch outside here to begin the 8th inning. But I thought that signing Kirk Cousins for the Atlanta Falcons, that signing was going to be huge. Because one, you have someone now who can teach Michael Penix Jr. how to be a professional quarterback in the NFL. And then I kind of sat back and I started thinking about the weapons they have on that offense. Last year, what was holding them back was a lack of having a quarterback. They didn't really have anybody. There was Marcus Mariota and Tyler Heineke were the two quarterbacks that they had in Atlanta. I'm sorry, I keep watching the game over here. I'm mentally invested in this game as a Yankees fan, so it's difficult to multitask and do these things. But then I start looking at what they have offensively with the Atlanta Falcons. You have what could be one of the most dynamic tight ends in the NFL in Kyle Pitts. You have what could be a really good receiver in the NFL in Drake London, and what could be a really good running back in the NFL in Bijan Robinson. This looks to be built like a whole team. This looks to be built like a team that can actually be a contender in maybe a year or two, right? Some questions on defense. We saw how bad they were defensively against Tampa Bay, especially a banged up Tampa Bay team. But that's the thing, whenever you have guys that are out due to injury, you should normally have guys that are able to step up, and that's what Baker Mayfield was able to find, targeting Otton a bunch of times in that game. Also, last Sunday happened to be National Tight Ends Day, just a record-setting day for tight end touchdowns and receptions and all that other stuff out there. I kind of, as the day started, Tiki Barber seemed kind of like the old man, get off my lawn. I can't believe all of you are out here celebrating tight ends. And by the time Mike Tirico was talking about how amazing National Tight End Day was, and there was championship belts that they're awarding to George Kittle for being an amazing tight end, the more I felt to myself, yeah, I think I'm over it. I think I've gone over to the Tiki Barber side of things. I'm going to start saying just, get off my lawn, because I am so done with just National Tight End Day. As someone that has Kyle Pitts on my fantasy team, that was great. But come on, it felt a little heavy-handed, a little too much. It jumped the shark is basically what National Tight Ends Day has done. But I look at that Atlanta Falcons team and I think to myself, this is an interesting team. This is a team that, if they're able to put it together, if they're able to be healthy, not only can they win the division, which I think they're going to do pretty handily, but they can also make some noise in the playoffs, because that's, again, a well-balanced team offensively that can put up points. And I know Kirk Cousins gets knocked all the time. I get told all the time that Kirk Cousins isn't a good quarterback, that Kirk Cousins is overrated, that Kirk Cousins is blah, 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 blah. And I will say this. I don't think Kirk Cousins is great, but I also don't think that he's nearly as bad as a lot of people out there are making it seem. To me, the Atlanta Falcons are not going to lose any games because of Kirk Cousins making bad decisions. I just flatly don't believe that. He keeps them in games. Yes, he's going to make a bad decision or two, but I don't necessarily think that they lose a bunch of games because he's the reason why. As Aaron Judge ropes a double to left field, now the Yankees have someone on at second base, bringing up Jazz Chisholm. It'll be interesting to see what the Dodgers do here with the base open. Do they walk Jazz? Do they pitch the Jazz? We'll keep that updated as we go forward here. But the Atlanta Falcons, to me, are an interesting team just because there's a lot of unknown there, right? I don't think they make it to the NFC Championship game. I think they could win a game maybe in the playoffs. But looking at that division, are you trusting Tampa Bay, a very hurt Tampa Bay team? Are you going to trust them? New Orleans, they had a great run to start the season. They've kind of fallen back to earth. Spencer Rattler, we're finding out, ain't that guy. And then you look at the Carolina Panthers, and that's enough said. I mean, we don't have to break down the Panthers. They are arguably the worst team in the NFL, not named the Dallas Cowboys, and that's just me being a Cowboys fan who's angry at my team. But then I look at the rest of the NFC. An unhealthy San Francisco, I don't think that's a problem for Atlanta. Philadelphia, I don't think that's a problem for Atlanta. We saw Atlanta beat them earlier this year. Maybe Philadelphia wants to get some retribution for that game, but we saw Atlanta beat them earlier this year. Green Bay, they look like they're kind of falling back. Minnesota, they look like they're kind of falling back a little bit. The magic that's been surrounding Sam Darnold looks like it's starting to wear off just a teeny tiny bit. And I look at this Falcons team and I sit here and I say to myself, why not? Why would I be down on the Atlanta Falcons? And I wouldn't be down on the Falcons. If I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan, I'm excited about the possibility of this team. They might be one of those, those teams that has to catch their lumps as they try to make Super Bowl runs in the future. Jazz Chisholm getting a strike here on a 3-1 call. That makes it 3-1 now. That was an outside pitch. That should have been a ball, but at least the umpire is consistent with that pitch being called a strike. Also, I hate things being called a sweeper. Maybe I am an old man now. Maybe I just need to get off the social medias and on the America Online and all that good stuff. I can't even pretend to be an old guy. But I look at this Atlanta Falcons team and I sit here and I think to myself, they're an interesting team. And there's a lot of interesting teams to me in the NFC. Like I said earlier in the show, I think Detroit's leaps and bounds better as Jazz Chisholm walks. So got a little bit of chin music there. Woo, that one was a little close. But I think there's a lot of teams in the NFC that are interesting, right? Philadelphia, if they can get it figured out, that would be an interesting team. That would be a team that maybe could contend with the Lions, but it just feels like Philadelphia is never going to really figure it out. Washington, that's interesting. I feel like that team is so lucky. That has to be the luckiest team in the NFL, given everything that we've seen of them, right? The Bears did all they could to just hand that game over to the Washington Commanders, handing the ball off to an offensive lineman at the goal line. What are you doing? It's not time to get cute. And then, of course, giving up a Hail Mary, where instead of batting the ball down like most people do, and I get it, like maybe it was just a bad angle, the defender tips the ball up and it gets caught by former Dallas Cowboy Noah Brown. I'm very angry at that team, too, because you look at the amount of former Dallas Cowboys on there. And I said at the beginning of the season, losing Tyler Biadasz to me was going to be the biggest issue for the Dallas Cowboys. They should have found a way to keep Tyler Biadasz, but best of luck to you over in Washington, D.C., my guy. Got nothing but love for you except for whenever you play the Dallas Cowboys, and I hope you lose by 1,000 points, which probably isn't going to happen. The Yankees now with a 2 on, 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. You see the rally caps on TV right now. Giancarlo Stanton, the Adonis himself, up to bat, swinging at the first pitch, and that looks like it's going to be caught in shallow right field. Mookie Betts getting over there, and none of the runners advance. So now you got 2 outs. You're bringing up Anthony Rizzo. Oh, man. Actually, no, I think they did a base runner for Anthony Rizzo. So we'll see who's coming up to bat for the New York Yankees here with 1 out left in the bottom of the 8th inning. This game is becoming absolutely stressful. I would have liked to have seen Stanton take more pitches there, but that's just me being nitpicky. I don't see what he sees, which is obviously the reason why he's in the major leagues and I'm sitting here talking to y'all. But I'm happy to be talking to y'all, especially here on our new home Roku. No, it is Anthony Rizzo. I must have been tricked into seeing something. I thought Anthony Rizzo was taken out for a pinch runner, but he's 2 for 15 in the series right now. Needs to get a hit. Just please get a hit. Single, anything like that. Oh, man, this umpire's going to kill me. I'm going to have to take a commercial break if there's more of this that's going to happen. Okay, but the other teams that are in the NFC, I want to say that maybe Seattle, maybe the Rams are an interesting team. That was interesting. A strike, swinging strike right here from the Dodgers going over to Rizzo, and then they snap throw back over to second base, trying to get Aaron Judge caught in a pickle, but he just wasn't off base far enough. I don't get that one. That's a weird one. Maybe there's something going on there. Anthony Rizzo, 0 home runs in his last 111 at bats. Jeez, my guy's due for one. Let's hope he get. I don't even want a home run. I just want a hit. Just get a single. A single will score Aaron Judge from second base. I know I'm getting off track from what I was talking about with the NFL, but this is a big moment in this game right now as the Yankees are currently trailing 7-6, 2 outs. In the bottom of the 8th inning, a 1-2 count on Anthony Rizzo as he has Aaron Judge and Jazz Chisholm on base ahead of him, and he goes down swinging. Does Anthony Rizzo, squandering that lead right there, or squandering that chance right there for the New York Yankees here in Game 5. The Yankees are going to have to do something. You got the bottom of the 9th, and that's it. And that's if you give up no runs in this top of the 9th inning. So we'll see what happens with the Yankees. I've already gotten a ton of text messages right now saying effing Yankees. I'm feeling the same way as a Yankees fan. This is not looking good. Maybe history is going to continue to repeat itself. Maybe there's a reason why the 23 teams that have gone down 0-3 in the World Series have never been able to force a Game 5. Look, I'm going to compose myself. I'm going to gather myself. I'll get my thoughts under control as I take a quick break here on the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. Whenever we come back, the last half hour of the show, a 2-hour marathon that we're going to be doing on Wednesday nights here on Facebook, on YouTube, on X, and of course, our new partnership with National Streaming Sports on Roku. We'll see how this game ends whenever we come back here on the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. We'll be back.
season is here, and SeatGeek is my go-to for buying tickets. Now, with SeatGeek, every single ticket is backed with their buyer guarantee. We've all had plans change, and when you can't make it to the big game, SeatGeek has you covered. They're the only ticketer that allows you to return your tickets ahead of the event for credit with SeatGeek swaps. So when things come up, I know that my tickets won't go to waste. So what are you waiting for? Download the SeatGeek app to maximize your possibilities and shop live events with confidence.
What's up, everybody? Mike Tipton here on a Sunday afternoon, about to enjoy the Dallas Cowboys taking on the San Francisco 49ers. And I want to let you know about my friends over at Beer Box. Beerbox.com is a place that I went to get my craft beer delivered at home. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into it. The first beer we're going to be trying is from Fat Orange Cat Brewing Company in North Haven, Connecticut. I am so mad at myself because I was just there a couple of weeks ago, and I should have stopped by the brewery and tried some of their beers, but I got it delivered by my friends over at Beer Box. I'm on a break. So let's go ahead and give it a try. 2.5 minutes. ASMR for the ASMR audience here. The Baby Kittens from Fat Orange Cat Brew Company in North Haven, Connecticut is a hazy IPA. And you can see right there how beautiful it is, how hazy that looks. It's got a 6.5% ABV, so you know it's going to pack a little bit of a punch. I'm not a big IPA guy, but I can't wait to try this one. I can already smell that it's going to be super fresh. So here we go. Cheers. That is very interesting. It's not super impactful like what you normally get with a lot of IPAs. I think I might be a fan. I think a hazy IPA might be the way that I'm going to start going in the future. There you have it. The Baby Kittens from Fat Orange Cat Brewing Company in North Haven, Connecticut. I'm giving that one an 8 out of 10. That is a great overall beer. So the next beer we have is going to be the Greenhouse Pilsner from Evil Twin Brewing Company in Ridgewood, New York. This is a Pilsner. It's got a 5% alcohol ABV on it, but you can see here an absolutely beautiful can. I love the artwork on that. That thing is absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to try this one. Here we go again for the ASMR audience. Oh, that was good. Look at that thing of beauty right there from the Evil Twin Brewing Company in Ridgewood, New York. This Greenhouse Pilsner, look how beautiful that beer is right there. Here we go. Bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. Man, that's good. That is phenomenal. I'm giving that one a 9 out of 10. That beer is absolutely flavorful. What you need to do to try different beers like this from different areas, you don't have to travel out of town anymore and try to find them out. All you have to do is go over to beerbox.com. It's super simple the way that it works. So here's what you got to do. Just simply subscribe. That's simple. Can't be any easier than that. It's month to month, and you can cancel any time. Obviously, you must be 21 to enjoy. Then all you got to do is get ready. The experts at Beer Box select a top-notch variety of craft beer packed, shipped directly to your front door. Then just sit back and enjoy a monthly surprise of quality craft beer from the best breweries across America. Once again, beerbox.com, that's the place that you go to order all the best craft beer throughout the United States. Get your subscription today. Must be 21 or over to enjoy. Welcome back to the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. Mike Tipton hanging out with you here on a Wednesday night, 9:35 p.m. Mountain Time, 11:35 on the East Coast. And I see that we have some people tuned in on the East Coast, so thank you so much. I want to know what the heck you're up to this late at night watching this show. I appreciate what you're doing. And of course the support that everyone's showing me on YouTube, on X, on Facebook, and of course with our new partnership at National Streaming Sports and their Roku channel. I was checking that out right now. I had to go see what the commercials look like over there, and it looks phenomenal. A big fan of everything that National Streaming Sports is doing on Roku. Give them a shot. Check out all the different things they have, not just this show if you're tuning in solely for this, but check out everything they have to offer at National Streaming Sports. Okay, whenever we left, the Yankees were going into the top of the ninth inning, and they got one out, and then there was a very easy single. And now that single has turned into a double, because whenever you throw over to first base 3 times, you better get the guy at first base, or else he automatically advances a base now. So now you got Kike Hernandez, who's in the box still against Luke Weaver. We're going to see history broken today no matter what. If the Yankees are able to come back and win this game, they'll be the first team out of 23 teams that have ever tried it in the World Series to force a Game 6. However, if the Dodgers can hold on to this 7-6 lead, they will become the first team in World Series history to win a clinching game in the World Series after being down by 5 or more runs in that game. They were down 5-0 in the 5th inning, mounted a furious comeback. The Yankees ultimately get the lead back and then give it away again there in the top of the 8th inning. So now the Yankees down to just the last couple of outs that they're going to be able to get in the season. Does the season end in Yankee Stadium in Game 5, or are they able to become the first team in Major League Baseball World Series history after being down 0-3 to force a Game 5? It's never happened in the 23 tries that have happened before this with the New York Yankees. Luke Weaver looks like he's unable to locate anything right now. He's up to 22 pitches. If you're the Yankees and you walk Kike Hernandez, what do you do here? What do you do if you are the Yankees as Luke Weaver just walked Kike Hernandez? This World Series to me has been a ton of fun. Outside of Game 4 being an absolute drubbing, all these games have been close. Like there was always that underlying feeling of there's possibility here, right? Even the Yankees losing Game 3 and Game 2, and then both basically being identical scores of 4-2. It feels like it's just that there was an opportunity there. My guy, Augustine Pimentel, saying that the Yankees need to give up. Either he's telling the Yankees to give up or he's telling me to give up. I don't know what's happening here, Augustine. Are you coming after me? You're coming after the Yankees. You know how I do it, my guy. I'm not going to give up, at least not yet. But if I'm the Yankees, I don't – man. It's so difficult because you make it all the way to the World Series. You get this far, and then it's just and like I said, none of these games were blowouts. So it's like you were there. You were there, both of us. Oh, wow, this guy. Okay. I'm not going to, Augustine. As a matter of fact, I'm going to continue broadcasting not just here on X, on YouTube and Facebook, but also on Roku. As I've teamed up with National Streaming Sports, we're going to keep going, Augustine. So, take that, my guy. Obviously, I know that he's messing with me. He's a really good dude. And, yeah, the Yankees' bats went cold. They went cold at the wrong time. They got hot, and they went cold at the wrong time. That's exactly what happened with the Yankees. And all it takes is one, right? To me, with as cold as Anthony Rizzo was in, the 8th inning, it was 111 at bats, now 112 at bats between getting a home run. He's 2 for 15 in the in the World Series. I'm laughing at a comment that Augustine put out here. I'll mention that in just a little bit, Augustine. But with Anthony Rizzo and his struggles, why not bring up someone else? Just have someone in the game to pinch hit. You don't have anybody that you can bring up to pinch hit there. Does Anthony Rizzo really give you the best chance there whenever he's 2 for 15 and has gone 111 at bats without getting a home run? You didn't even need a home run. You just needed a single. He's up there with broken fingers. I get it. It's an amazing story for him to even be playing in this game. But the fact of the matter is, there had to have been somebody there that possibly could have given you a better shot. I don't like not pinch hitting for Anthony Rizzo there. And now it looks like this game is just going to start getting further and further away from the New York Yankees, as the Fox broadcast now is going over the woeful times that the LA Dodgers had gone through. Oh, my goodness. The LA Dodgers and the struggles they've had of, making it to their second World Series in the last 5 years. Oh man, they're just such a traumatized fan base here. In today's game, the New York Yankees have 20 hits. They've scored 6 runs. They have 20 hits, but that means they've left a ton of guys on. And we saw that. They had a bases loaded situation where they left guys on. In the 8th inning, they had runners on second and third and left runners on. And it just doesn't seem like the Yankees have the ability to hang with the Dodgers whenever it becomes one of these pressurized games. A lot can be said for teams whenever you think about pressure and how do we handle pressure and how do we handle disappointment. Yeah, the Yankees have made it to ALC championship games, and yeah, the Yankees have barely been on the cusp of making it to the World Series. This year, for the first time in 15 years, they make it to the World Series. You have the pressure of the entire state of New York on your shoulders, wanting you to win this game, wanting you to win this series, expecting you really to win this series. And to me, the New York Yankees just don't have it, right? Like this was a very flawed team to me entering into the playoffs and entering the World Series. As Leiter is able to get a pitch here to Edman, a strike to Edman. Is now 2-2 to Edman. 1 out in the top of the 9th inning, runners on first and second for the Dodgers. Augustine Pimentel saying that there was a comment by Fox Commentary that said there are some things in New York pitching was off. Yeah, and that's the thing is like they don't have depth. They don't have depth in the bullpen. They don't have depth in the starting rotations. It's just the entire. It felt like everything with the Yankees was kind of overachieving, which is weird to say that about a team that's the New York Yankees. I didn't think that this team was going to make the World Series to begin with. I thought Cleveland was a better overall team than what the Yankees were. Yeah, the Yankees had the biggest bats. And even whenever you look at this game, the Yankees have maybe 3 of the top 5 players in this game. And again, that's maybe, right? Just depending on what version of Judge you get. But outside of that, I think if you went, 1 through 10 in the rankings, it would be those 3 Yankees in Judge, in Stanton, and in Soto. And then everything else would be Dodgers. You would have 7 out of the top 10 players in this game are Dodgers. And that's to include Garrett Cole. And I love Garrett Cole. But that's just the disparity in talent that I think there is between the Dodgers and the Yankees. Again, I'm saying this as a Yankees fan. I love the New York Yankees. But I knew going into this series that they were not the team that people thought they were going to be. I stopped short of saying that they were an underdog because I don't think you can make it to the World Series and technically be an underdog. But it just felt like they didn't have what it took to win this series as they're able to get out of the top of the 9th unscathed here. So we're going to go to the bottom of the 9th. It's a 7-6 lead for the Dodgers in New York City, in Yankee Stadium. All the time in the past, you would feel those ghosts, right? You would feel the presence of Babe Ruth, of Lou Gehrig, of Mickey Mantle, of Joe DiMaggio. You would feel that in the stadium saying, you know what, we're going to win this game. You can tell by looking at that stadium, even looking at the fact that they were able to get out of that inning without giving up any more damage, by the fans that they panned into in that stadium, that those fans do not believe in this team. That is a huge feeling to carry. I equate it to going to a Dallas Cowboys game. I've been to a ton of those games in recent times, and you can feel whenever one thing doesn't go out for the Dallas Cowboys the way that you want it to go for the Dallas Cowboys, the air in the stadium just evaporates. That ambiance evaporates, and it becomes this echoing dome of just nothingness. And that's kind of what it looks like in Yankee Stadium right now because of all of the pressure on this team to win. It's a pressure cooker that you have in New York that's saying if you don't win these games, if you don't win a World Series, this was a wasted season for you. I don't know if I feel that way. You're going up against the LA Dodgers. Like this is an all-around team. I don't know if you could say that this is a disappointing season, but that's the mindset that it is for every single New York Yankees team. It's World Series or bust, and that's because they've won 27 of them. You have the expectation of this team to always constantly win a World Series. Augustine Pimentel saying all those ex-players are dead, just like the series. Well, I mean, of course I said that. I said there was a ghost of them, right? Like, I wasn't going to say the ghost of Derek Jeter. He's still alive. He's not haunting anything. He's on the Fox broadcast. or post-game broadcast. He and A-Rod and David Ortiz, which just seems like a weird mixture of guys to have on a post-game broadcast. But whatever, it's just I'm some guy. I'm not nitpicking at anything. Once again, you are tuned in to the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton here on a Wednesday afternoon, or Wednesday night rather. Every Wednesday, we are going to be here on Roku, on the National Streaming Sports channel on Roku. Download Roku and make sure that you tune into this show, and of course tune into the rest of the shows that they have on the National Streaming Sports network as well. Fire and Ice going to be on here on Saturdays as well, starting at 2 o'clock local time in El Paso. Fire and Ice on the National Streaming Sports channel as well. How long ago was the last time the Yankees won a World Series? That, my friend, was in 2009, 15 years ago. Now, and again, I'm going to sound like one of these nerds or like an apologist or anything like that. I subscribe to this theory wholeheartedly, okay? That there is a balance out there that makes sure things happen the way that they should happen. Statistically, you should make the World Series in your division once every 15 years, right? In your league, rather, once every 15 years. And it would be the same thing. You win a World Series once every 30 years. That's the theory that I subscribe to. In Utopia, you make it to the World Series every 15 years. That's a utopic world. That's 1 in 15 odds. Every single team should make it at least once in those 15 years in your league. Win the World Series once every 30 years, just based in Utopia, right? Augustine Pimentel says there's one out going on right now. Thank you. Thank you for keeping me updated here with everything that's going on with the Yankees. I am on Hulu, so I think I'm on a little bit of a delay because I don't see that out just yet. But hey, you know, maybe it's coming up. But I subscribe to that theory, right? Like the Yankees are right on track. This is what it should be for that franchise being as charmed as they were in the last part of the 1990s. It's just the way that it should be, right? Like they've been spoiled for so long that, yeah, the law of averages is going to say that it's been a long time for them to get there, and it's going to continue to be a long time for the Yankees to win a World Series. Do I want it to be another 15 years? God, no. Nobody wants to wait that long, right? But look at the Dodgers. It took them 30 years to win a World Series. Look at the Red Sox. Up until their recent run, it was 84 years of ineptitude. The Chicago Cubs, basically the exact same thing, right? Like the Cubs, 108 years of ineptitude, win themselves a World Series, and then get back into being an absolute nothing. It's been 8 years since they won a World Series, and it feels like it's been much longer than that. Augustine Pimentel saying that the Yankees are the new Cowboys. Man, I can't even say that. Like the Cowboys wouldn't make it this far, right? Like the Cowboys wouldn't be able to go this far into a playoff series. like the Dallas Cowboys make it to the wild card round and lose. That's what would have happened to the Yankees. They would have lost in the round of like 3, right? Like that new wild card round that baseball has, where you get the best out of 3 series, but there's no home and home. It's just like you go to one stadium, and that's where you play your 3 games if you get all 3 games. Right? They're not the new Cowboys. The Cowboys wish they could have that level of success. Jesus, come on, guy. And since the Cowboys won a title, the Yankees have won 5. So, I mean, come on. I can say that as a Cowboys fan, man. Like the Cowboys are much worse than the Yankees. The Cowboys wish they were in the position that the Yankees were in right now. Austin Wells still here up at bat. I've turned off the comments. I'm not going to read Augustine's comments right now because I want to experience this in real time, as I have 10 minutes left on the show. Maybe the game ends in the next 10 minutes. It's probably going to end in the next minute or two. But as the game ends, we'll be able to react to it here in real time on the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. Once again, streaming to you live here on Roku, on National Streaming Sports, on X, on YouTube, on Twitter as well. Thank you all so much for the support and for being in on the show this late in the day. Jesus, Augustine, what are you even doing up right now? It's damn near 10 o'clock here in El Paso. And Wells goes down as Walker Buehler comes into the game and strikes him out. And it looks like that's basically going to call it on the Yankees. Walker Buehler going to get the save here for the LA Dodgers. Bueller, a phenomenal pitcher. It was great seeing what he was able to do against the Yankees in Game 3. Like, no one would have expected Walker Bueller to play that way, especially just the story of him being able to come back and perform. That was it, right? Like you've had the surgeries, you've had all the things like that happened to you. Just being able to have Walker Bueller come back and perform says a lot, right? Like this guy, the perseverance he's had, he's on one here in the World Series, and it just seems like this Dodgers team versus this Yankees team was so one-sided, just super duper one-sided, and I feel great as a baseball fan that we were able to get this World Series. It just sucks that it's not going to go 6. And I think that that's the most disappointing part about this whole thing, right? Is it feels like even though these games have been close, minus Game 4, even though these games have been close, it feels like it's just been an ass whooping, just a one-sided ass whooping. And it basically has, as now I see the pitch here, and the Dodgers are your World Series champions. The Yankees unable to complete the comeback, even unable to complete the 5, getting it to Game 6 here. A lot of things going the Dodgers' way right now. This is a team that's set up to win a lot in the future. Like that's a scary thing about this team. And as I said in the beginning of the show, this team is going to be going after Juan Soto. This team is going to want to get even deeper and even more egregious and scary and terrifying for batters. Augustine Pimentel saying the Dodgers are celebrating in New York. You can see the dejection on all of the New York Yankees fans that are there. It's just one of those things, right? Like that's unfortunately the way that it goes. It happens to be my team that it's against, but I look at the season, I don't see it as a huge loss for the Yankees, right? There's a lot of places where this team could get better. And hopefully they get better, and hopefully they hang on to Juan Soto, and hopefully they're able to build on this upcoming season. But the thing is that the New York Yankees need to sign Juan Soto. They cannot let Juan Soto go. If Juan Soto leaves the New York Yankees, I think they're done. Like they're done. This becomes a wild card team, right? They need to ensure that he stays a New York Yankee and keep him away from the Mets and keep him away from the Dodgers, because that's the future of this franchise. Yeah, Aaron Judge is great, but you need another guy there. I was mulling over the possibility of maybe you go and get Mike Trout, right? You just have Mike Trout as like that other guy. He doesn't have to be the guy that carries the team anymore, but he's still a fearful at bat. He's still a fearful guy you have in your lineup. But my whole mindset now is the Yankees, unless it's Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the Yankees don't need an entire bat. Like they need a pitching staff. This is what the Yankees need. They need bullpen help. Look at what ruined this game for the New York Yankees, and it was the fact that their late inning pitchers were unable to locate a fastball, walked in runs, walked the bases loaded, and now you get what you get. If the Dodgers want to get to the next level, Tipton Ford play-by-play. Hey, my guy, I'm with it. Tipton for play-by-play, I'm with it. I would love to follow in the shoes of a Vince Scully and all of them. My guy, I've been trying so hard to even get any type of announcing gig with UTEP. I just can't get it, right? This isn't the place for me to air out my grievances against the University of Texas El Paso. I got nothing but love for my minors. I graduated from there, but come on, guys, at least give me a little bit of a shot. Jesus. Anyway, looking at this game, looking at the World Series, congratulations to the Dodgers on this. An absolutely amazing performance. Shohei Ohtani, injured, able to still just be a guy, right? Able to be a guy that without him isn't able to get to this level. Watching Shohei Ohtani, this is the first time in the 7 years that he's been in the United States that he makes it to the playoffs and they win the World Series. Major League Baseball's dream was to have a Yankees-Dodgers World Series. They get the dream to come true. It just doesn't go 7. Man, Freddie Freeman's got a ton of teeth. He's got more teeth than a great white shark. I'll say that right now. But I will say this. A hell of a season by the New York Yankees. Yes, there's a lot that still needs to be done for me to think that this team is going to actually win a World Series. They cannot run it back as they are made. They need to add. They need to add pitching, mostly pitching. And the thing is now you don't know what you're going to get out of Garrett Cole. You got another year older with Garrett Cole. You got another year older with Giancarlo Stanton. You got another year older with Aaron Judge. The one that you have that you need to build around is going to be Juan Soto, 26 years old. It's mind-blowing to think that kid was 19 years old whenever the Nationals won a World Series with him. That kid was able to be that important on that team. He is the future of the New York Yankees if the New York Yankees are able to hold on to him. Okay, everybody, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the show. I know it was all over the place. We started off with some baseball, football, a whole bunch of stuff, but ultimately we had to watch the World Series here as Clayton Kershaw gets himself another World Series championship. Walker Buehler coming in to close the door on the New York Yankees. And, of course, the Dodgers win the World Series 4-1 with a 7-6 win over the New York Yankees in New York City. A phenomenal game that we just got to watch here. I am so happy we were able to do that, everybody. Thank you again to everyone that's tuned in on the Roku channel over at National Streaming Sports. Thank you to everyone on Facebook, YouTube, and X. And we will see you all next week on Wednesday and Saturday on Fire and Ice.
Football season is here, and SeatGeek is my go-to for buying tickets. Now, with SeatGeek, every single ticket is backed with their buyer guarantee. We've all had plans change, and when you can't make it to the big game, SeatGeek has you covered. They're the only ticketer that allows you to return your tickets ahead of the event for credit with SeatGeek swaps. So when things come up, I know that my tickets won't go to waste. So what are you waiting for? Download the SeatGeek app to maximize your possibilities and shop live events with confidence.